A very good morning, guys. This is Dr. Ranjith, your pathology educator at Unacademy. So let's go ahead with our continue our pathology nugget series, which is going to be for postgraduates. So if you're a postgraduate and if you're trying to diagnose many lesions in histopathology and hematology, this is your place to end. And we have started a special series for all the postgraduates in pathology, which will be hosting the Unacademy app, and they'll be free of cost. And it's a live interactive session. You can join us, and we are a group of students. We have a Telegram group, approximately 1,000 students, and we're going to make the learning in the post-graduation much easier and much more interesting. Fine. And you can watch them whenever you want. If you miss it, the live class as well, the recorded class will be available as well as in the Unacademy app. Fine. So enroll to the Unacademy app, go to my profile and use PathoCups to unlock all the classes. Fine. So let's go ahead without any delay to the pathology nuggets 8. So here we are going to have an 18-year-old person who has a bone lesion. A tiny bit of advice for everyone who is going to report bone biopsies in future. Never ever even attempt to report a bone biopsy without a radiological appearance, right? And preferably by a musculoskeletal radiologist, MSK, specialized radiologist should comment on the radiology, be it an X-ray or an CT or an MRI, whatever it may be. It should be by the radiologist, and don't take the words of an orthopedician, because they are not liable for it, and definitely radiology is much better than an orthopedician whenever I'm going to report a bone lesion, because there are lots of things like for example grade 1 chondrosarcoma. It's almost impossible to differentiate from a reactive bone form, a reactive cartilage lesion, from a grade 1 chondrosarcoma on a biopsy. So there radiology is going to help me a lot. So clinical histo-radiological correlation is very important to rule out many lesions. The site, which might be confounding sometimes, I might not have the exact age sometime, but definitely radiology will help me in differentiating whatever differential diagnosis you have in the mind. And sometimes the DD can be totally benign lesion which doesn't require anything, to a malignant lesion which might require amputation, right? So the management will drastically differ. So I want you to take the input of the radiologist for any lesion. Fine. Now let's go ahead with the question. 18-year-old bone lesion. I'm not given what bone it is. Let's take in and around the knee joint. Fine. This is the biopsy which came here. So if you see here, I do have the bone tissue here. If you look at the bone, whenever the osteoid, right? Whenever you look at the osteoid, the first and the foremost thing I want you to look is whether it's a normal osteoid or a neoplastic or a malignant osteoid. The way to differentiate these both is look at the corners of the osteoid. In the corners of the osteoid, let me highlight it. I'm sure you can see these cells, right? So almost everywhere the osteoid is lined by osteoblast. Here again, I can see the osteoblast lining, and few places, yes, definitely I can see the osteoclast as well, right? So this is definitely a normal benign osteoid. If it's a neoplastic malignant osteoid, which is diagnostic of an osteosarcoma, you will not have the lining of the osteoid. So if you have a perfect osteoid rimming, osteoblast, as well as in somewhere osteoclast rimming of an osteoid, I call them a benign osteoid, right? So by looking at these osteoid, I'm not going to think of an osteosarcoma here at least. Let's try to describe whatever else is there in the biopsy. I do have a stroma. The stroma is a bit spindle-loaded and fibrous, and I do have Jain cells here, right? I do have Jain cells. But with Jain cells alone, I'll not be able to come to a diagnosis, because there's a whole list of differential diagnoses for Jain cell lesions in the bone. That itself is a separate topic. We might read it sometime down the road. So when I have lots of Jain cells like this, I cannot pinpoint any lesion, right? So we can go with another field. Let's see if there's any clue here. Again here, which is more prominent here is, again, the same thing whatever you saw Jain cells. And one thing is more important for me is I have a space with hemorrhage into it, right? Blood into it, right? And if you notice one peculiar thing, see, let's say that I am going to just put a bracket here, right? When you look at this part of the biopsy, or maybe this part of the biopsy, I don't have any Jain cells. In other words, most of the Jain cells, I'm not saying all, most of the Jain cells are surrounding the hemorrhagic areas, right? I'm having an area of hemorrhage. Surrounding that, I'm having a reactive Jain cell formation, right? So this is what I can presume from this image. This is very important to narrow down to a differential diagnosis, which I'll say soon. Fine. Let's go to the next image. Same here. I do have an hemorrhagic area cavity down, and I do have Jain cells here as well. Again, the osteoid is normal. It's having an osteoblastomy. It's a perfect normal osteoblastomy. So that also is clear for me. Next one, if you look at here, again, lots of Jain cells here, and I have a cavity here. One thing, if I look at the stromal cells here, they are not abnormal. They are not atypical. They are not pleomorphic, right? So I can rule out few lesions, because when I see Jain cell, though I don't see a neoplastic osteoid, If I am having pleomorphism in these stromal cells, I might think of something else, right? So I don't have any pleomorphism. Just to sum up the findings, it's a bony lesion in an 18-year-old kid having areas of cavity filled with hemorrhage, and the Jain cells is surrounding the cavity. That is a very, very important clue for the differential diagnosis here. My first differential diagnosis here is going to be an aneurysmal bone cyst. As I said, there are many differential diagnoses for a Jain cell rich lesion, right? First, we'll look at what exactly will be the findings in an aneurysmal bone cyst, right? These are all the findings seen classically in aneurysmal bone cyst. There are books called as Foundations of Pathology. They have a very good description. You might go ahead whenever if you want, if you're finding any trouble between differentiating few lesions, right? Variable size blood fill spaces, which was there in our biopsy, right? Lined by thin membrane septa of a loose fibrous tissue. See, this I'm not able to see for the only reason that it's not an entire representative dissection. I'm having a chunk of a biopsy. Maybe I'll see the second point when I'm going to excise. If the tumor is excised and given to me, yes, I'll be able to see them for sure. Admixed with osteoclast-like Jain cells for sure, with numerous reactive bone-lined trabeculae by osteoblast. Again, this is what I was mentioning, that I do have osteoblast, I do have reactive bone formation, which you saw in those images, but everything was lined by osteoblast, so it's a reactive bone formation, not a neoplastic bone formation, right? Immature osteoid arranged in linear thing along the septa, that's fine. Mitosis are frequent, atypical mitosis not present. Though we didn't see mitosis here, aneurysmal bone cyst can be mitotically active, but important thing, ATP and pleomorphism are unlikely to be in aneurysmal bone cyst, right? Solid areas of xanthochromatosis changes can happen mixed with the reactive trabecular. See, it's an aneurysm. It'll rupture, I'll have a bleeding. That will form a reactive bone reactive formation with lots of macrophages in them, right? Areas of reminiscent of Jain cell reparative granuloma. Important. This is a very close differential diagnosis. Especially there's a variant called a solid variant of aneurysmal bone cyst. A Jain cell reparative granuloma is almost indistinguishable from a solid variant of aneurysmal bone cyst. Let's see how to take care of them. So all these are features of my aneurysmal bone cyst. And one thing which I have missed is the Jain cells concentration will be exactly surrounding the hemorrhagic area. That again will be difficult in a solid variant of aneurysmal bone cyst, right? So this is diagnostic of an aneurysmal bone cyst. There are very close differential diagnoses. I want to discuss three main differential diagnoses here. One is telangiectatic osteosarcoma, telangiectasia. So I'll have lots of blood cell phases in osteosarcoma as well. But this is benign. Osteosarcoma telangiectasis definitely is an aggressive neoplasm. It's a malignant neoplasm, right? The second one what you'll be discussing is a very important difference between Jain cell tumor and an aneurysmal bone cyst. Though both are benign, Jain cell tumor is a bit more aggressive, locally aggressive. Aneurysmal bone cyst in particular areas I might think is an aneurysmal bone cyst, and age might give me a clue saying that it's aneurysmal bone cyst or a Jain cell tumor. The third one, like I said, we have to know the difference between Jain cell reparative granuloma and my aneurysmal bone cyst. Fine, let's go ahead. First thing is telangiectatic osteosarcoma. It's osteosarcoma. It's malignant. So obviously my most important thing is going to be cytological atypia. ABC will never have a cytological atypia. It will never have any anaplastic features. Telangiectatic osteosarcoma is very malignant. There will be frank pleomorphism. Frank in the sense you put the microscopic slide in the scanner view itself, you can appreciate the pleomorphism. In 10x for sure you'll see lots of pleomorphism, lots of cytological atypia, high NC ratio, everything. You can see markedly ugly Jain cells and atypical mitosis. All of them are going to be favoring in telangiectatic osteosarcoma. And obviously radiology will give you a clue. That's a very classical finding seen in imaging which can pick up it's a telangiectatic osteosarcoma. Biopsy is just to confirm it, right? Most of them might present with metastasis, so clinical inflammation also might give me a clue to differentiate and telangiectatic osteosarcoma from an aneurysmal bone cyst. Might not be difficult, but what I want you to know is whenever you look at an osteoid, be careful, look at the rimming, and whenever you look at the cells, be careful, just look whether they are pleomorphic or not. Even if it's classical aneurysmal bone cyst, I want you to take care of this, fine? Next is Jain cell tumor. Jain cell tumor versus aneurysmal bone cyst. The Jain cells of a Jain cell tumor are huge. And they are huge and they'll be uniformly distributed throughout the cytoplasm. Like when I have through the lesion, when I have a lesion like this, if it's a Jain cell tumor, I'll have the Jain cells all over. Unlike my aneurysmal bone cyst, where it will be concentrated surrounding the hemorrhagic area, it will be uniformly distributed. That's one variant. We did see Jain cells in this biopsy, in this case what we saw, but I didn't have Jain cells which had an abundant nuclear material, like maybe 5-10 maximum. Jain cell tumor will have lots and lots of nuclei, 50, 100 easily. There'll be huge Jain cells. That's one clue. It's completely a solid lesion and it's a uniform distribution of the Jain cell. These are my clues to say, okay, it's a Jain cell tumor versus an aneurysmal bone cyst, fine. An aneurysmal bone cyst has a more consistent fibrous stroma. There it will be mononuclear tumor cell stroma. I'm sure you will be able to differentiate a mononuclear tumor cell, again that's a spindle cell, from a fibrous stroma, which will be elongated cells with a tapering cytoplasm which can be wavy. Fibrous stroma is more common in aneurysmal bone cyst and my tumor stroma is more common in my Jain cell tumor. This might become difficult when it's a solid variant, but still in solid variant, the Jain cells quantity will be less. And the number of nuclei in the Jain cells will be less in an aneurysmal bone cyst. Definitely they'll be much more prominent in a Jain cell tumor, fine. Third one, differential diagnosis, Jain cell reparative granuloma. This is very difficult, especially as a solid variant. It's almost literally impossible to differentiate that. What will help me here, the clue is the radiology. In the radiology, a Jain cell reparative granuloma, see it's a repair tissue, that's all, will not have an expansile lesion. It's just a repairing tissue, right? On the other hand, ABC will be expansile, it'll be blown out for sure, right? So as the slide says, a Jain cell reparative granuloma will have a lesser expansile, lacking a blown out appearance radiologically, and the large blood filled spaces will not be absent. That's why solid variant might be a bit difficult. Even a solid variant of ABC, in an imaging, it will be expansile. So I can try to differentiate both of them based on the imaging, fine? And Jain cell reparative granulomas on the smaller bones, if it's in smaller bones, they're definitely more difficult because in smaller bones, even ABC might not be so much expanding, right? That time it's going to be really difficult. So take time, go and sit in the tumor board, discuss with the orthopedician, radiologist and the pathologist and give out the report because that might be tricky and obviously the management differs, fine? So that's with today's case. We saw a case of a Jain cell rich lesion in the bone, which is aneurysmal bone cyst, and we saw the differential diagnosis as well, fine? Please follow me in the Unacademy app where we'll be having lots of cases for postgraduates. We are done with endometrium and cervix. All the recorded videos are available in the Unacademy app. You can go ahead and have a look at it whenever you're free. And as I said that in the starting, all these classes are special classes, so it will be free of cost and we can read together and more, fine? Thank you for your time. See you soon. Till then, bye-bye from Dr. Ranjith. Bye.